Welcome to our weekly program titled Society in Focus. I am your host, Oiza Said. Society in Focus, as the name implies, is a program that touches every space of the society with the aim of educating our viewers on issues bothering us as a community and Nigeria as a nation. Subsequently, we'll be discussing about issues related to education, environmental and personal hygiene, agriculture, among others. Make it a date with us 9 p.m. every Monday. You can watch us on our YouTube channel, Equity TV 133, or download our app on Google Play Store, or follow us on our website www.equitytv.com.ng.
Abubakar Aliyu Madani, the current Director General Nasarawa State Waste Management and Sanitation Authority. The importance of environmental management. As the name implied, it has to do with the cleanness of environment. It has to do with the cleanness of streets, cleanness of houses, cleanness of places of business, and cleanness of even the farms. That is it's our responsibility to go around and be sure that the environment is clean. And when you say environment, it encompasses everything in the environment. You must make sure that it's clean. You say the importance of monthly environmental sanitation. I think we will want to state that generally the importance of sanitation. It doesn't have to be necessarily only the month. Why it is being shifted to month sometimes is a day that is being set aside to enable workers who are working, to enable everybody to know that a day has been set aside for the environment cleanliness. But every day we carry out environmental sanitation. Every day we in the authority carry out environmental sanitation. Every day we collect refuse. Every day we go around to people's residence. Every day we go to the business premises. Every day we go all over nooks and crannies of places to see that places are kept clean. I think when you were coming, you would have seen a lot of impacts. Now, the Nasarawa State Waste Management Authority started as a task force led them by Group Captain Tanko Auta and got into Biru, and now the Sanitation Authority. The organization has done a lot, if you watch. All over the local governments, except few, we have our presence, that is, we have our staffs. And even where we do not have staffs, we make sure that once or twice in a month, our staff visit those local governments that we don't have staffs. Every local government will make sure that we make an impact in the local government to make sure that we sensitize people on how environments are supposed to be kept clean, how drainages are supposed to be kept clean, not flooding them with refugees and the rest of them. Also make sure that we sensitize people on where to dump their refuse and where not to dump their refuse. We also make sure that streets are being kept clean. They will minimize or will totally eradicate traffic congestions. We make sure that the nuisance on the roads, including broke down vehicles, destitutes, and the rest of them, hawkers that are not legally permitted to be in the streets, are being advised to leave, and whereby they refuse, they are being taken to a mobile court. Generally, it's not only on ways. Human beings are difficult in the general life. And we thank God that we are really getting cooperation from people, because cleanness applies to everybody. And we are happy that once we are able to sensitize people to see the need to be clean, they take to it. So we do have minor challenges, but not to the highest. We sensitize them enough, and will continue to sensitize them to make them realize that health is wealth. So everyone should keep his environment, keep even his body clean. So we do have challenges, but not so much. But we thank God that majority are complying. You may not even, we may have some difficulties with you, but we are trying to make everybody comply with the standards of cleanliness in the state. Totally, 100% is the governments that finance this office. 100%. The government, both the states, federal in some cases, do also assist us in the states. You can see it. But government, this office, the activities of Nasarawa State Waste Management and Sanitation Authority is solely being sponsored by the state government. So whatever we are doing is by the state governments. The few cases, in few cases we have the waste managers. Now these waste managers are private organizations or private individuals that have the capacity to also go to place of businesses, residences, and the rest of them to negotiate with them in order to be evacuating their waste on the terms agreed between them. And before you do that, by our law, you will have to register with the organization here, the authority, and when you register, you give us the areas that you need to cover, then we approve, and then we issue you with a license to carry out with your waste collection. First of all, we will have to sincerely thank the indigenes of Nasarawa State for their cooperation, especially the royal fathers, whom hardly you go to any palace in the state without having a sanitation committee established by the royal father. So we sincerely thank our indigenes, and that for few of them that sometimes not that they refuse, but sometimes because of some inconveniences and maybe exigencies, they don't comply. We'll advise that they should comply with cleanliness standards so that we can have a healthy living condition. Without being well, you cannot do anything. And we should thank God that some of these sickness as a result of maybe mosquito bites, where you leave waste and the rest of them, they come and breed and give a lot of birth there and distribute to the community. So we want everybody to cooperate with us, and see that we carry out our activities without necessarily compelling people to do it, but people should do it willingly because is for their benefit or is for our benefit. And again, we will advise that nowadays you can discover that hardly you find a vacant land where you can easily dump your refuse in the town. So because of the fact that the vehicles we are having are vehicles that hardly go inside the interior areas because of roads, but the waste managers have the capacity. Some of them use keke nape, some of them use wheelbarrows and pickups to go and collect waste. We advise that the waste should be given to the waste manager, and people should endeavor to register with the waste manager. Where they find difficulties in getting the waste manager, we have our officers almost in most of the local governments, so they could get in touch with them so that they can introduce the waste managers to them. We also advise the waste manager to get in touch with these people, but we also make people to understand that the sanitation law passed in 2021 by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, also stimulates that whereby you fail to comply with the cleanest standard, you could also be charged to court, having been given abatement notice served on you, duly served on you, and you must sign for it that this portion of a place looks dirty and you are expected to clean it within so time. Especially those who operate Gidan Wanka, popularly called Gidan Wanka, where people commercial bathing areas and toilets. So in most cases, they do have dispute within their neighbor, or neighbor with neighbor do have disputes, and we serve. If we go there and inspect the place and discover that there is need for us to advise the occupants of a particular place to put it in order, we serve him with an abatement notice, after which the expiration of the time, if he refuses to comply, he then will be charged to court for the court to decide whether or not he has a case or he doesn't have a case to answer. That is what we do.
I remain your host, Oiza Said. Don't forget to download our apps and follow us on our various social media handles.